welcome back to the series, the Dukes of Hazzard General Lee Dodge Charger from MPC. Just want to kind of go over where I'm at this stage of this build. Basically, what I did was to go ahead and apply some of the folk art metallic silver sterling. This is 662, and went ahead and hand painted the all the chrome areas and trim around the windows and the windshield wipers, and as well as the, I'll turn this kind of around, as well as the back window itself, and got all the trim work painted up and everything. Once that was done and dried, I went ahead and flipped her over and installed the two windows, the windshield window and the back window, using some of the white canopy glue, and taped it all up and let that sit and cure for 24 hours. Once that was done, then I went ahead and test fitted the car over the chassis again with the roll bar cage installed, and of course what I came up with was another kind of fit issue that I should have taken care of earlier. It wasn't sitting correctly on this portion of it when it sat down on the chassis, because the interior bucket wasn't quite level. So I basically took the body back off and took my chassis, which already had the interior bucket glued in place, took it out to my garage, and took my Dremel that had a grinding wheel on it, and was fortunate enough to slide the wheel on the front underside of the interior bucket and grind out the two forward locator pins. And then I took my hobby knife and ran it across between the firewall and the front part of the interior bucket, and got that loose. And then I was able to re-glue the front end of the interior bucket and clamp that down, let that set overnight, and that seemed to resolve that issue as far as laying the body on the chassis and getting the stance right. So like I said, I should have listened to you guys and at least gotten a couple of the locator pins taken care of earlier, but it is what it is, and this is where we're at right now. So basically, after that was all done, I went ahead and decided to go ahead and future the body of the car, and my technique on this one was actually just to go ahead and hand brush it on with a paintbrush, and just took my time and started on the top and kind of worked my way down to the sides and the back, and let that sit overnight. And this is where we're at right now. I went ahead and also took care of the hood, as you can see here. After I went ahead and again used some of my metallic silver sterling and took care of the pins on here, and just kind of gave a little bit of some color. I also went ahead and kind of dirtied up the back underside of the hood as well. I will put some future on that as well. And so that's where we're at for the hood. And basically I was going to maybe go ahead and put one more coat of the future on here before I lay the decals on there. But like I said, this is where we're at, and stay tuned and we'll be right back. And we're back, and I just kind of want to go over, I'm going to go ahead and put another coat of the future on this car using a paintbrush method and just kind of want to show you how I do that. I went ahead and poured some Future in a little medication cup here. Don't need much, and then I just took a standard paintbrush here, and let's get to it. And I'm going to start on the top and kind of work my way down again, and just take my time with it. And let's go ahead and do it. I'll put that down, and like I said, just nice even strokes, and just follow along the contours, and just trying to keep it wet, and just keep going back and forth with it. Take your time. So this is all we're doing. Let me see. I'm going to kind of stand up here and just kind of see at the top side here, just kind of looking, see any parts I might miss. There you go. And just kind of being patient with it and just following along. I got that one done. We'll go ahead and I kind of put this on a turntable this time around just so I got easier access and I don't have to, you know, hold it with my hands as I'm turning the model around. And like I said, just nice easy strokes. And like I said, once this is all done, we'll go ahead and let this sit overnight again. I got front and back. Let's go ahead and do the sides. I know sometimes I use the airbrush as well, but in this case with the General Lee, with all its fit issues and stuff, I just want to make sure I try to keep it nice and clean here, and not spray over anything that doesn't need to be sprayed over, so I have a little bit more control over the flow of the Future on the paint body. Alright, that looks pretty good. We'll start on the back end here. We'll take care of tail lights. Since it is transparent, clear, that'll kind of bring out the shine a little bit more. And we'll go on the other side here. Alright. And we'll turn around one more time, get the other side. Just nice, easy strokes. Back to front. As long as you keep your paintbrush nice and wet, it flows across the surface pretty good. And we'll catch the top part here where the windshields are at. The wipers. And we'll get underneath here a little bit. And basically that's all there is to it. and looks pretty good all the way around. And what you don't want to do is to, once you have it laid down, you don't want to really go back over it again, because it's going to start messing up. So basically one stroke, bring it across, and let it set up and do its thing. Next up will be the hood. Same thing. We'll just take a little bit here. This time around, since I got one application on the top, let's go underneath because I didn't do that yet. And basically we'll just go right across it. And a little bit more. Alright, we'll let that go ahead and set up and for a couple hours, and should be good to go. So like I said, that's all there is to it as far as laying down the future using a paintbrush over an airbrush. And like I said, we'll just let that set up for a few hours. I might even let it set up, and get back to it for tomorrow. And then that will take care of the 2 coats, and we'll get right to starting the decals and making it look just like the General Lee. So yeah, until then, we'll catch y'all later. Have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.